Wendy, you
Are
should
we
know.
supposed to be standing for this? We
I'm
can't
standing.
stand.
Yes,
I'm
with
Oh,
standing.
our
are you
hands over
standing?
our hearts.
Uh-oh.
Yes, hands over the
That's a bit of a
hearts. We
problem.
can't use our hands. Yeah, we can't use our hands.
Well, we can't. You still can't stand and use your hands. It's just nobody can really see.
You just can't see it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yes, Rachel must be appreciative, of course, right? Who else is around on that side of the world?
Hmm.
And sure, let us know. But welcome to it. It's great to see a bunch of South Africans. Hey, it's a
Hello.
Malaysian
Hello,
friend as
everybody.
well. Hey, welcome to new Frenchies. What else? We've got a couple of very familiar names, a couple of new names. Well, welcome to it, ladies and gents. It is great to have you all here today on the 4th of July. No, sorry, wrong day. 12th of March. It is the monthly HODLNOTS Happy Hour Hangout session. And if you're a little confused as to why we're playing the American national anthem, come on, land and land of the free and the brave. It is an interesting notion that that's it's kind of being put forward right now, and that is the strategic Bitcoin reserve that America is trying to pioneer, with a lot of countries starting to adopt this. Although, what is that country in South America that's been buying a Bitcoin a day? Anybody know? Quick pop quiz. Anybody know which South American country has been, Marcel?
Yes.
Yeah, you can guess if you
Um,
if you don't.
no, I'm probably gonna sound silly. Let me not guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there are a couple of people in the audience, some smart people and some people who are
Mm.
got the right vowel to start with.
Yes.
Come on.
Oh
Very
yeah,
good.
you knew that, right?
Hmm.
You knew which country it
Hmm.
was, right?
Okay.
Hmm.
They've been fairly crypto friendly.
Yeah, they have
Hmm.
been.
Yeah, they've been.
Well done.
Yeah, well done for those of you who got El Salvador correct. Quite a few actually other South
Yes.
American countries starting to pick up on that. And also, I think we mentioned it before on a 4-H session. Um, Close, Michael, but not
Close.
quite.
L. L and South Sam.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Um, anyway, yeah, we might have mentioned that Bhutan, the country, the mountainous country of Bhutan, is the fourth largest national, as in country, holding Bitcoin because they've been mining it for quite some time. They're quite smart. Another a whole bunch of other countries as well starting to do that. And as America, it's kind of like the poster child for at least for trends around finances and stuff and motions. Yeah, I mean, debatable, but yeah, America is buying Bitcoin and looking to do it, and so a bunch of other countries, and we know institutions and banks, fund managers are all starting to recommend and change their tune really and recommend people start to stockpile Bitcoin because why? Does anybody know why it's a good idea to buy Bitcoin? Anybody? Is
Because
it
it goes up in value. Goes up in value.
Is it just the value though? Is it
Hmm?
just because Bitcoin goes up in value, it might go to 120, 150,000? Well, we're going to explore that and more in today's session of the HODLNOTS Happy Hangout. It's a double. It's a 44. All right, number 44 in the series. And yeah, we're going to be hearing some of the usual greats. I mean, this market isn't fantastic. Look at Bitcoin going down on the day. Those of you who've done the course, you understand what back of the mountain
Hmm.
the daytime or the day frame looks like. Oh, not fantastic for long-term hodlers. But for those of you who kind of missed those early entries around the 4th of November ahead of the presidential elections, funny enough, now is a great time for if you are into those long-term hodlers to add to those bags. But scalping, it seems to be the only way to make money over the last couple of weeks. And we're going to get to
Yep,
hear all about that, Head Badger, in that.
definitely.
Yeah, yep. And yeah, we can run a contest actually. Why not? Because we see you guys
Fun.
month. Yeah. But before we get into that, have a look around. Look at this great background. Look at the studio today. There's just piles of
Love
Bitcoin
it.
everywhere. I think Wendy's been accumulating the most.
Yes, behind me. Yeah, I've had so much. It's kind of almost like I feel like I'm in a poker game. Look there. I got my Chili margarita. Somebody knows what I like. There's
You're
Fireball up in the corner. I see Fireball.
a
Coin everywhere,
little bit
starting
of
around
tequila
those
there
places.
too as well.
I
Um,
wish I had just a little portion of those Bitcoins in my stash in real life.
this is like the Bitcoin casino going on around in Wendy's corner. But yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
we're gonna get into that top left graphic specifically around Wendy's section in this session today. As to why is there a pair of handcuffs around somebody holding a bag of Bitcoin? Why is there a red telephone
Mm-hmm.
there? Okay, we're gonna get into that. And a couple of other really interesting pieces as well. You'll notice a whole bunch of other crypto tokens, otherwise known as digital assets. All right, we're going to get into that.
And
And
what does a soccer ball have to do with it? Yeah, let's
ah,
find out about that.
okay. Let's see if anybody is smart. Any football fans? And we're not talking necessarily fan tokens. They've been around a long time. So
Mm.
there's a little bit of clue for those of you into soccer, not American football, please. We're going to get into that. But yeah, I think, and then of course, we're going to chat about, we've got a live course happening or starting in 16 days' time. And we're going to chat about that and the self-paced course. We're going to hear more from Vicky around that. But let's hear about the contest because why not? You guys can start to think and use your brains around this. What's up for grabs? A 30-day HODL Fire coupon because
Woohoo.
you want to be able to, yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Yep. You want to be able to use that even if you haven't done the course and you kind of want to save up for one of our courses at least. You can use that HODL file in the interim. There is some great content in the back office for the product as well as within the channel. So 30 days, if you guys already have been using it, you know it's worth. All right. So obviously we want the market to turn around a little. So how do you win a 30-day HODL Fire coupon? Well, in the Q&A section down below, please, we would love to hear from all of you, whether you are HODLNOTS or not. We would love to hear from you. What is an indicator or a concept or something that you would like to learn about in a HODLNOTS training course? All right. Sure, it might have been something that you've learned about before, but we want you guys to think outside the box. What kind of concept would you like us to cover? Is it something like I don't want to give you guys, plant too many seeds. Is it something around dollar cost averaging? Or is a concept similar to timeframes, but not? Is it an indicator that we haven't taught? Or something that you would like a little bit more of an advanced version? We'd love to hear your ideas around something, an indicator, a concept, anything that you would like to learn about. And the best answer actually is going to win that 30-day HODL Fire coupon. Exciting times. All right, so this is not the HODL Fire call. We won't get into that, but we are going to get into what's been happening in the den. Marcel, you want to give us a clue as to what's
Yeah,
the market been like for the last little while?
yeah, thanks, John. We actually, despite the look of the market, we've had some great weeks. So let's get into that. So for the last week of February, or ending last week in February, here is some examples that we took from the den traders, profits that were made in the den since we've been on this call last month. So if we quickly look through them, you can see there's some medium average size trades, 4%. There's a nice big one, 25% on cat gold. There's another medium one, but they're quite nice trades still, because remember, for those of you that haven't been on the call, you would know. For those of you that are new, we trade in minutes. So it's basically, we get into a coin, we scalp it for a minute or two, we get out, we take the percentage profit. We either then stash it and trade the same amount again, or we can actually compound it and just do another trade with your new higher amount. So these percentages are trades that's been done in a very short while. So sometimes it might not look, sometimes there's a 1% or 2%, and it might not look like a substantial big trade, but we do it and we repeat it over and over again. So it does tend to add up. Another 28% here, there was a 4%, 5%. And you'll sometimes see some of these that I'll insert into this graphic. That will be the same coins, because in our den, we've got a community where we call coins everyone that's been on the course and some other people that's not necessarily done the course or that subscribe to the den. We all look for coins together. And if someone finds the coin is running, we mention it in the den, and then everyone jumps on that coin and we all profit from that. So sometimes you will see the same coin being mentioned, because that's normally when there was a nice run and everyone profited from that. So the next week, the week ending the 2nd of March, again, was a good week. There was a 12%, 5, 8, 4, there's a 3%. So some of these are a little bit smaller, but we still had nice big chunks on some of them. Yeah, exactly the same as the previous week. We trade in minutes and we take the profit and run. Then the last week, it did slow a bit down. There was one big one. There was a 24% on VPT, but you'll see some of these are a little bit smaller, but it is market related. But like John mentioned, even though Bitcoin's going down on the day chart, on the altcoins, we fought. We fought. I saw altcoin. Sorry. We scalp on the 1 minute chart. So it's a good way for when you're waiting for your long-term holds to get into profit. It's a nice way to keep yourself in crypto and still trade and make some decent profits. And that's it from the den.
Yeah, listen, I mean, and quite a few of those grabbed percentages there were from a bunch of the recent graduates of the January course, and some of them are actually in the 3M challenge as well. So a big shout out to those of the graduates who are around and who are scalping, basically making hay while the sun shines. I think that's pretty amazing. That, whether you're grabbing 1.27% in a day or you're grabbing, I saw there was like a 27%er or 5%er. Everybody
Yeah.
else is waiting for, day trades to get to entry or play out or long term or even the medium terms and stuff. And these guys and girls are in the den and they're scalping and making a few percentage points a day. And that adds up, what, 20 days of what's that, 20 business days in a month, and you grab 2% a day. I mean, do the math. Now, that's not bad.
Good money.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when, once you've done the course and you start to ramp that up in terms of your dollar trading position, you can really do make a living out of this. And we've seen a couple of our friends and people in the den have gone through the 3M challenge actually, and become black bears and they're trading for a living. So, woohoo, kudos to them. Hey, Wendy.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. It's just nice to see every one of those little grab and goes add up. And people are realizing it, especially the more and more I talk to them. They're saying they just didn't realize 1%, 2%, 3%. By the time you do a bunch of those, they realize it's quite nice at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, totally. You don't have to wait for the market to turn, just grab and get out and go to bed or go to
Grab
work.
and go. That's it.
Quick takeaways. All right. Speaking about takeaways, nice little segue there. What were some of the takeaways from Friday's Bitcoin Crypto Summit, Wendy? Because I don't think you flew for it, but you managed to get a nice summary of really what it means and what does it mean for the global community, humanity and mankind, or at least for those of us in the crypto space.
It means a lot. And this is why we decided to do a presentation today. And we're going to get into what happened in the United States and the crypto summit. It was actually the very first White House crypto together summit for a country to come together and discuss this as a financial asset. So we've been waiting for this. Our entire community has been waiting for this. What's going on? How is it going to affect cryptocurrency? And for some people, it didn't quite have the effect that we thought it was going to have. Everybody thought Bitcoin was going to skyrocket and soar up. And there's reasons behind it, but we really wanted to dig a little bit deep into this. And so I put a presentation together. I'm going to give it on long term again tomorrow as well. But for those of you who come to our 4-H, you get a sneak peek. You get it first. So we like to feed our own and feed our family and our community first. So this is what we're going to give you. And so you can really understand what's going on because it does affect what's going on in cryptocurrency. So I'm going to share my screen if that's okay, John.
Go for it.
All right, everybody can see my screen. Is it big enough?
Yeah, it's great. Perfect.
Okay, welcome to our happy hour hangout from the HODLNOTS. And let's talk about the Bitcoin Crypto Summit. What it was, what happened. So overview, we're going to see what is or what was the Bitcoin Crypto Summit. I'm going to go over the innovation and the future trends, what happens, and the investor and market insights, what has really transpired within this Bitcoin Crypto Summit, and some key information and takeaways from it. So you can understand what's going on and what's going to continue to go on in the months to come out of the United States and how it's going to affect your cryptocurrency. So the Bitcoin Crypto Summit, it was the very first digital assets crypto summit event, and it was designed to bring together thought leaders, investors, innovators, developers, and enthusiasts all around cryptocurrency to discuss all things around the trends, the advancements, and issues in the crypto space in the industry, and to, I guess, basically get a really good understanding about cryptocurrency for everybody. The event was created to provide a platform for networking, educational learning, and collaboration from all the people. And Trump brought in all these people on the roundtable. If you want to watch it, which I highly encourage you to do, it's a very nice presentation on YouTube. So you can just Google it, look it up, and watch the whole presentation as Trump comes in and Saylor and everybody else that was there, David Sachs, and so many other people that were involved in what they had to say about it. So it took place just before the U.S. Bitcoin Strategic Reserve was created with an executive order. So you need to understand that Trump did sign an executive order to create a U.S. Bitcoin Strategic Reserve and a digital asset stockpile. And we're going to go over what the difference between those two things are so you understand the difference and the importance of it. So what was the summit and why was it so important? Okay, so crypto investors want to know the future of digital assets in the US market and how the digital asset policies of the United States are going to evolve. So what happened was Trump hosted at the White House. It was actually there in the White House. It opened up a direct line of communication to high levels of government and U.S. policymakers. They all came together to find out how this was all going to work and what the plans were. So they confirmed that Bitcoin and digital asset stockpiles are real. That it was a definite confirmation that we are taking this very serious as a financial asset. And the United States now has a president who is embracing the entire crypto industry. And this is huge. This is, I mean, USA is a huge leader in the financial industry, as we all know. And to have a president on board that finally gets it and is embracing that it is something that we're going to look at and develop and go forward with, will tell people it's not a bubble, that this is going to be around for a long term. They're not going to create all this and Bitcoin's going to go away. So that's a real positive. And that was a very bullish sentiment that's in the market. And whenever you listen to a lot of the crypto influencers out there that are all over this Bitcoin summit, there's a lot of positives and some negatives. So the creation of what happened when they signed this into the office was, when he signed the executive order, was it was two different crypto items, not just one. And this is what I want to dig into, was the Bitcoin Reserve, and there was a digital asset stockpile, and what the difference between those two are, so you can understand a little bit more about it. So the Bitcoin Reserve, let's go over that first. You need to understand that it's only Bitcoin in the Bitcoin Reserve. The goal is a long-term preservation, and the actual order prohibits them from selling the Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin is not something they're buying right now. And I'm going to get into that because there is going to be or could be some buying. But right now, the Bitcoin that they currently hold, the United States is one of the top holders of Bitcoin in all of the countries in the world. So it's kind of like viewing the Bitcoin reserve as a digital Fort Knox of digital gold. It's just like gold bars sitting there and they don't ever sell them. They hold on to them, they preserve them, and they use it for backup. So number one, they're going to keep it very secure. They're locking up this Bitcoin. They cannot sell it, okay? And they never want to sell it. So that lets you know that it's going to lock up some of it. They used to have 400,000 Bitcoin. Now, this was a scary part when I dug into this, was there's a federal balance sheet. And over the past, they've already sold half of that 400,000 Bitcoin. The value that they got for 200,000 Bitcoin was about 360 million they sold off. Well, then they realized that the remaining 200,000 Bitcoin that they currently still hold is now worth about $17 billion. So you can imagine the increase and they see how much Bitcoin they used to have and how much they sold it for, and it was a very, very bad sale, okay, that they got rid of half of it. So all of this Bitcoin was accumulated from all different sources of confiscation, you know, the dark web, people doing wrong with it, so forth and so forth. So there's a lot of it that's just tied up, and they've already sold off half of it. Now, they don't want to make the same mistake again with the other 200, so they've decided to lock it all up. Now, David Sachs said this was the scary part, was no one really knows how much they really have. They've never really done a proper audit on the digital assets and how much Bitcoin that is held or is in this, and they need to do a proper audit. So part of what was signed in the executive order was that they have 30 days from March 6th to do this audit. Now, I don't know how they're going to do this because the fact that nobody really knows how to handle digital assets and they've got to gather it all together and figure out how much they have and what the worth of it all is. So we do know that they have some Ethereum and they have some XRP and they have some of the other coins that they've talked about. We just don't know how much they have. So it'll be very interesting down the road to see how much they have and hold. Now, here's the difference. We're going to get now into the digital asset stockpile. So now the digital asset stockpile is all the other digital assets outside of Bitcoin, which they are clueless really how much they have. And the reason why they've created this is for, quote, responsible stewardship. The Secretary of Treasury has the ability with the digital asset stockpile to maximize the value of the portfolio holdings. In other words, he's allowed to rebalance and change the portfolio or change the assets. It is permissible. So hopefully the Secretary of Treasury knows what he's doing with digital assets. I don't know what his background is and if he knows how to buy and sell and which coins, and if he has somebody that he's working with in order that they can change it and make more money. Now, the other thing is they are able and they have been tasked to develop strategies for acquiring more Bitcoin. However, the caveat is that it has to have a zero effect on the budget. In other words, they can't have any more money to make debt in order to acquire the Bitcoin, and they cannot have it at the taxpayer's expense. So if they can finagle and figure out how to make more Bitcoin, and then they will be buying more Bitcoin. And as this was a negative sentiment in the market, is the fact that a lot of people are concerned that they may actually sell off some of the altcoins and purchase Bitcoin. So, and increase the Bitcoin reserves because of the fact of Bitcoin being the power holder. So this is curious to see if they're going to buy more Bitcoin or if they're going to buy more digital assets, or they're going to increase the value, or if somebody's going to learn how to do what Marius does in long term and sell it at the high and buy it at the low. I don't know. Hopefully they'll be following long-term reports. Let's just hope for that. So anyway, so innovation and future trends, there were discussions around Bitcoin ETFs, which everybody knows BlackRock and some of those other big holders of the central bank digital currencies. They talked about CBDCs, and some of the other foreign countries outside of US are already talking about CBDCs, which are totally different than what we want to do with cryptocurrency. That is more of a leisure freedom type of thing that the banks are trying to do. And the layer 2 solutions like the Lightning Network. So they talked about the solutions that enable faster and cheaper transactions for Bitcoin in particular, how the mining impacts were going to be, and how the industry can become more sustainable. So this was really good to have a lot of different people around the round table that they had there and listen to everybody really getting in to Bitcoin. So, and they were getting into the digital asset world and blockchain and how it all works. And they realized it's going to be around for a while. Let's just put it that way. So the key invitees, who were some of the speakers there? You might want to know that there were quite a few high profile investors and policy advocates there. Andreas Antonopoulos, which I've totally destroyed his name. He is actually the author of Mastering Bitcoin and the Internet of Money, and was very, very good book. Michael Saylor, most people all know that he's been acquiring. He's the CEO of MicroStrategy, and he doesn't care about the price of Bitcoin going all the way down to $1. He's been quoted as, I don't care, I'll just buy more, because he knows where it's going to be in the long term. Jack Dorsey, CEO of Block, formerly Square, Twitter. He's the co-founder. He was there. Sefadine Morris was the author of the Bitcoin Standard. Catherine Coley, former CEO of Binance.us, was there. Elon Musk, of course, CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and Twitter. Jimmy Song, author of Programming Bitcoin, Bitcoin developer. Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase Exchange. And Elizabeth Stark, again, she's the one with the Lightning Labs, CEO and co-founder for the Lightning Network. So these are just some of the high-ranking people that were there. There was a whole lot more. I didn't even go over David Sachs. I didn't go over some of the other influential people in Bitcoin. But just to know that all of these people have their careers around Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin's not going away. And that was a very positive, bullish sentiment about the market, was that so many people were coming together to find a way forward in order to hold Bitcoin, create more Bitcoin, and to make it a digital currency for long-term use. So I'm going to go over some of the positives and the negatives and some of the things that were on the fence of the thoughts that'll save you from watching hundreds of videos on YouTube. Okay. So on the negative, the prioritization of policies has placed a slower speed with the legislative efforts, resulting in Bitcoin's declining price after the summit. So everybody knows, and John talked about this earlier when we started today, about the price of Bitcoin isn't looking pretty happy right now. And that's why, is because of all the policies and the legislation that they're trying to work around is creating a slower speed on how to get all of this done. And the market is just going down and just kind of hanging around while everybody figures out what's going on. On the positive, the US government is now committed to supporting the crypto industry with a digital asset stockpile that's in progress now with short-term deadlines, which I like to see. 30 days to do a complete audit on their digital assets. That's pretty impressive. And we'll have a pro-crypto stance moving forward. On the positive, the U.S. has a digital asset strategy with Bitcoin and other assets. And it's the talk of the mainstream conversation right now, which brings Bitcoin to the front. And everybody wanting to learn how to get in. And now they're taking it a whole lot more serious. So hopefully we'll see a whole lot more people on our courses that are coming up. And just so happens we've got that live course coming up this month, so everybody can jump on that and get going and learn how to get involved in Bitcoin and learn how to trade altcoins. So this is really good. It's perfect timing. What was on the fence was with the U.S. being the first nation to embrace Bitcoin and on-chain assets at a policy level, these actions will be watched and now analyzed across the globe to produce and prioritize transparency and policy, setting up a framework for other nations to follow. And people are on the fence on that because why? Bitcoin is decentralized. And we don't want it centralized. We want to move away from the banking industry. But instead, now we're all getting the banks involved and they're regulating it. They want policies on it. They want to be able to tax it. They want to be able to find out who owns what wallet and where, when that wasn't the full intent of Bitcoin to begin with. It was so that we could actually have our freedoms. So on the negative and the positive, it really depends on how you sit. Crypto audits will become a priority to manage the owned assets, not assets. Oh, I guess I better change that on my slide. And control of the U.S. government. This is a sore point for crypto marketplace because we do not want all of that auditing, and we do not want all the taxation on our assets as we're trading them. Greater transparency will also increase the confidence, though, for policy actions, but will command a greater reporting consistency for the private investor. So we all know it's coming. So if we're going to adapt, and we're going to adapt it everywhere in the world, and it's going to be a financial asset, then it's going to be held accountable to all of the extras. So hopefully the U.S. will keep that in mind, and maybe we can all move to countries that don't want to tax Bitcoin, or USA will become one that doesn't tax it. So here were some of the quotes for the Bitcoin Crypto Summit that I thought were the best quotes out of watching the whole thing. So Bitcoin is not about money. It's about freedom. And this is what I was saying. This is where people are sitting on the fence. Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation and a store of value in times of economic uncertainty. So that's a positive. In the next 10 years, we will see Bitcoin go from being an experiment to becoming the dominant global currency. These were some quotes from most of the high-ranking people at the conference, the summit itself. So Bitcoin is the world's best hope for creating a truly global, open, and inclusive financial system. Bitcoin is the most secure, robust, and decentralized computing network ever created. It hasn't been hacked, remember? Okay, that's the key. A lot of these other things that have been hacked, but Bitcoin hasn't. Bitcoin allows us to take control of our own wealth and opt out of the existing financial system that's controlled by a few powerful institutions. The value of Bitcoin comes from its scarcity, not from its price. Supply and demand give it its wonderful, wonderful, wonderful price action going up, hopefully. Bitcoin mining can actually lead to the development of sustainable energy solutions, which you know that they're all about, like harnessing excess energy from renewable sources. Bitcoin represents a peaceful revolution, a way to change the financial system without violence or force. Bitcoin will be a multi-trillion-dollar asset class in the next decade. Now, you can go back through the watch on the whole summit, and you can find out who said all these things. I just pulled them out. I didn't put who said these quotes, but they all came from a lot of the influencers that were there, or the big names that I just read earlier. Bitcoin is the most important technological innovation of our time. It's a catalyst for a new wave of economic freedom. And our final thoughts for this entire summit, which was, it's a big, huge thing, and that's why the presentation's a little bit long. But this year's Bitcoin Crypto Summit discussed these following things: that Bitcoin is being used as digital gold. Bitcoin is decentralized. The future adoption, they talked about Bitcoin's inclusion into the financial system, Bitcoin's technological power, Bitcoin used as a hedge against centralized systems, Bitcoin's true value, velocity, supply, and demand, Bitcoin's environmental impact, mining leading to sustainable energy solutions, and using Bitcoin as a political tool. institutional adoption of the Bitcoin, and the final slide, our final thoughts were ending with the final quote of significance of the overall summit. In my eyes, was Bitcoin is the most important technological innovation of our time. It's a catalyst for a new wave of economic freedom. So this highlights the potential to fundamentally shift the global financial systems, similar to how the internet revolutionized the communications. We, the advocates, argue that it could help disrupt the traditional financial systems, create more equitable wealth distribution, and promote individual sovereignty. It was meant for the people and for the freedom. So hopefully you've enjoyed this 4-H learning session. You are brought up to date on what's going on in US, how it affects cryptocurrency, and you're a little bit more knowledgeable, which is what we want to really bring to you with our 4-H is more knowledge around the crypto space and things that we can continue to help you get a little bit more wise about cryptocurrency. And then we're here to train and educate, aren't we, John?
Really amazing, really great roundup there. I think everybody drop in some emojis there for Wendy and her presentation on that roundup of the Bitcoin Crypto Summit. Very nicely done. And hopefully everybody on the call has actually learned something. And I asked all of you in the beginning,
Thankfully.
yeah, I asked all of you in the beginning, like what is the most attractive part around Bitcoin? Is it a lot of you were talking about, oh, it's the price. And it's not so much about that. And that's actually one of the quotes that came out of that actual crypto summit. And that was the fact where you said, I'm just going to pull it up quickly. Give me a second. You were talking about, oh yeah, it's not the price, but it's that scarcity. All right. And it is that limited
Yes.
supply. So Michael, nicely done there right in the beginning of the call as to what is going to be dictating or why is Bitcoin so attractive. And it's not so much because it might go up, but it's because there is actually a limited supply in terms of what is out there. And that will drive up the price, obviously. But one of my other favorite quotes that came out of that, and I'm trying to pull up the screenshot when it comes to me, is the fact that it offers, everybody around the world. Wendy, maybe you can pull it, or you can at least just read it off your slide in the background there. I think it was in maybe the fourth or the fifth quote that came out of it, and that was it offers financial freedom to pretty much everybody in the world. What was that quote?
Let me pull it up. It was Bitcoin is the world's best hope for creating a true global, open, and inclusive financial system.
Yes, that one.
Was that the one you were looking at? Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't disparage, according to race or gender or belief or anything. And there are plenty of people in third world countries or people who are struggling just to open up a normal bank account because of the loopholes. But if they have access to the internet and they can get onto an exchange, crypto offers them many options for financial freedom, at least from red tape and bureaucracy. So that's pretty exciting. I mean, obviously, for those of us who are in Africa and other third world countries, it's a lot more inclusive. One of the other quotes, just by the way, one that you didn't pop into your summary, and I'll likely play it. It came out straight from Donald Trump himself. And let me share it with you. There's actually I wouldn't say a sketch or I want to pull it up. There's actually a little excerpt, really. You guys should all be able to see that.
How cute.
All right. But have a listen, everybody. Have a listen. This is a quote directly from the Bitcoin Crypto Summit from Donald Trump himself.
HODLNOTS.com is the best. Very best when it comes to crypto trading. I even got my one son, Eric, to do their course, and even he could understand all the amazing technical indicators they teach. That's huge. Believe me, it's great. Time frames, easy to understand with their teachings, bigly. Any other online training course out there is fake news. You can learn to make a lot of money, millions and billions. Enroll for HODLNOTS Self-Paced Foundational Trading Course. It's huge, tremendous. So don't be a zero, get winning. Go to HODL.
Go to HODLNOTS.com. Well, that was that was from Donald Trump himself.
That's
amazing. How did you get that, John?
just contacts, it's not what you know, but who you know. But yeah,
He
so
even had the HODLnator. He had the HODLNOTS indicator on his
he
script.
did.
That was
Yeah,
cute.
he did indeed. We'll share that out with everybody on the socials. Great. Thank you, Mr. Trump or President Trump, for taking the time out to give us that quote. But yes, not just the self-paced course, Vicky, but any one of our courses. And again, somebody like I suggested it, and I think Michael might have also made a similar. Was it Michael? Somebody, yeah, Michael made a suggestion. We should get the Secretary of Treasury to do our HODLNOTS Foundational Trading Course, so that at least he knows he can read the time frames and be able to know where.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He can scalp trade those extra coins
Oh,
and
geez,
make more Bitcoin.
yeah. I mean, I think the digital assets you were talking about more like the XRPs and the Solanas and the ADAs and things like that. But yeah, there's lots for them to learn. And yes, it'd be great to see. Oh, well done. All right. Ladies and gents, you've got another, let's give you another 6 minutes. Keep on dropping in those suggestions. I've seen a whole bunch in here. But in the meantime, Vicky, would you like to just remind for those of you who haven't done the course or did the course years ago, and we'd like to revisit it at a discounted rate?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me share my screen. Here we go. So this is the Bitcoin Trend and Forecast online store, obviously, and it is the online store when you're signed in. So first of all, if you have been sick or under a log for a couple weeks, we have launched a new old course or an old new course. So we've launched the self-paced foundational trading course, which is our normal course or our live group course, but in a self-paced format. So we already have students doing that. They're already quite a bit of the way through it actually as well. But it's all of the information that we teach in the group course, just self-paced. So people have 30 days to complete it. And for most of you on the call, actually, we also have the same course as an add-on. So if you've done the course before, whether it's been the live course or the premium course, which is the one-on-one, you can take this self-paced course as a refresher. So if you haven't been scalping with us, especially for people that joined prior to the end-ish of 2021, this course is completely different now than it was back then. So this is a great refresher for you to do, and it's also discounted. So the normal course for everyone else is $780, and we're giving everyone that's done the course a chance to do it for $440. And when did we actually announce that? We have coupons still. So we still have a couple coupons left that you can get the course for $350. I think that went out on socials or in the chats, John. Where did those go out? In the channels?
We had it live on one of the calls last week. So yeah, just as a reminder, I think there's like one or two left. But yeah, you got to grab it quickly to make use of that FX.
Yes, exactly. So if you click in here, you can read all about what we're doing in the self-paced course. So right down here, these are all the chapters and modules that you will be learning. Some are very familiar to you, but just as an example, we have one person that's doing the course now who did the course at the end of 2021-ish, or right at the beginning of 2022. And she said, gosh, there's so much, so much has changed since I did it. Even this module, this chapter here, which looks familiar to everyone pretty much on the call that's on the course. She said, I've learned so much information. Like, she really wanted to just fast forward through that. And she said, I'm so glad I didn't, because every single module I learned something from. So this is what we're doing now. And there's 50 modules to go through, and you have 3 months to do it. So that's what you can do if you are already a HODLNOT, if you'd like to have a little review. If you're not a HODLNOT, we do have, like I said, the self-paced, and we do have our live course starting as well, which is just here. Our live course starts the week after next on the 28th of March. So you still have a bit of time to join that one. And even on the live course, if you'd like to start today, there are videos to watch. There are 2 videos to watch that you can start with. So it's all happening at HODLNOTS, really.
Very cool.
There we go.
Lovely stuff.
Absolutely great.
Yep.
And with both courses, both the online self-paced course and the live course, you get the HODLNOTS indicator for a lifetime, still free with the
Absolutely.
course.
And training around the huddle fire. Also, but bear in mind that those
Yes.
who are doing the add-on for the self-paced course, basically, to quote Michael, well-seasoned attendees, not old huddle nuts, but yes,
That's true,
well-seasoned.
Michael. We had that
Yeah, we don't use that
conversation the other
word.
course. We had that conversation already, didn't
Yeah,
we?
Well
exactly.
Yes.
seasoned,
Yes,
correct.
well-seasoned. For those of you who have done the course previously, you will not be receiving an additional HODLNOTS indicator or HODLNator. You already have it for life, as Wendy has said. So that is
That's
why.
why we discounted it. Yeah, we discounted it because you already had it.
Well, I mean that again.
Hmm.
I mean you can purchase the self-pairs video course, not the add-on, the actual product for a family member, and that family member would also then get a HODLNOTS indicator, and you'd be able to then trade together. How amazing! Actually, we had someone on this call actually had a family member do the course with them in January. So families who trade together stay together. I guess I don't know.
Absolutely.
I look at Wendy and Morris, but anyway. So, uh, there's
Well,
some,
so far so good.
yeah, absolutely. There've been some great suggestions coming in here. One of them quickly disappeared. I want to see if I can find it quickly. Okay, there it is. So we've had things like, I'd love a training session focused on shorting. Yeah, of course, if you are in the lodge, Wendy does do once a month a training session around that, but that's a great suggestion for course material. Also something to do with real-time entry and exit points, like real-time trading. Sure. I mean, we do, again do that on live training when the market is running and Zoom isn't being difficult. Futures, do's and do nots of futures. That's pretty good. What else has been there? Guys, you got a minute left to get those entries in. What else? I would love to know how to spend my crypto. Well, if you want to go shopping, Isabel, just let us know. But yeah, card options, businesses that accept crypto. I mean, that could be a long list and an ever-evolving day by day list. Compound interests, the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. Compound interest, DCAing. Okay, nice suggestion. I like it. Uh, how to improve the assessment of how long retracements will last. It's all to do with time frames, really. We do spend a lot of time on that. Oh, fib retracements. Oh, we used to do that in the lodge with some of our old ask session type things. Fib rotations in combination with the HODL fire for longer time frame trades. What else? Ichimoku Cloud and TD Sequential. Well, maybe a more advanced, in-depth look at the Ichimoku Cloud, because of course, in our course, we teach some of the basic principles around it, but not too much in depth. We did used to do that in the lodge. We were just hoping to, with this contest, to be able to see for those who haven't done the course yet, if there was something that we do cover, and we were actually maybe even going to give away a course. Ah, damn it, cat's out the bag. We were looking to,
Uh-oh.
yeah, whoops, it's okay. We were just
Hope
looking
so.
if anybody on the call maybe wanted to learn about, the MACD, or they wanted to learn about the Bollinger Bands. Damn it. All right, it's fine. We'll have to do it next time. Not a problem. No giving a course away. We'll give away a Huddle
We
Fire
tried.
coupon instead. Vicky's going to spin the wheel of names, and then we're going to see who's won. Vicky?
Yeah, sorry, I was actually just busy getting Isabel my wallet address because she wants to spend some of her coins. I'll get that to you, Isabel, in a moment.
Awesome.
But I have spun the wheel in the background. Thank you for everyone that's answered. And Michael has won
Hey!
the 30-day HODL Fire. So thank you,
And
Michael, for a
Congrats.
great suggestion. Yeah.
yeah, I really liked Isabel's suggestion, and I think we need to dig in more into that. Was to know more about different ways to spend her cryptos, like card options, business
No,
options.
there's no discussion around that. I just said I'm going to give her my wallet address. Case closed.
I was going to say, Vicky, you went too
You
fast.
guys can fight about it later, but yeah, Michael, that's that comment around compound interesting and well, interesting. It is interesting, but compound interest and DCAing, well, that was my little take on. But great, and some great suggestions. We'd love to know that you guys are thinking about how you can further your own personal crypto journeys. Remember, starting off with the HODLNOTS Foundational Trading Course for anybody who's got no experience at all. And funny enough, I was chatting to a recent graduate yesterday, and this person, and we'll put the quote out, but this person has said because they have an understanding of higher time frames, they looked at Bitcoin on the day, and when they saw the back of the mountain beginning, this person sold all of their long-term trades and has saved 50% of their capital, all of their long-term trades, because they saw Bitcoin going down back of the mountain on the day chart. And because of their understanding, because of the course that they did in January, they've saved a heap of cash. And these are the kind of light bulbs that we love to hear about and to hear. So for anybody looking to get into crypto at all, start out with a foundational course. It does cover scalp trading, but of course it applies, everything we teach applies to higher time frame trading as well. So all that information can definitely be found on the website. And I see Vicky's dropped in her TRC address. We should actually be dropping in the course links, Vicky, for those of the people who like.
Okay, let me do that as well.
Self-paced
priorities.
Yeah, clearly you're shopping. All right. Yeah, Marcel. I don't know. Shopping, it's not really our vibe.
I'm still thinking of barbecue after Michael mentioned something about seasoning. I'm just seasoning.
It's seasoning.
So I missed the whole last part.
Well, there we go. There it is. For those of you who'd like to do the self-paced video course, if you've got friends and family who haven't, but remember, if you already have done it, at least like a year or so ago and would like to revisit, there is the add-on option. You should see it pop up in the store once you log into bitcointough.com. But other than that, great little show for this month. Wendy, thank you so much for all of the highlights and the roundups of the Bitcoin Crypto Summit. And yeah, ladies and gents, again, round of applause for Wendy for that great info. Drop some emojis in. Badger, as always, great to have you here with the wit. And of course, those 10 percentages as well. Next month, we'll be tackling another theme. We'll be getting back to all of you around that time. Vicky, of course, as always, great graphics, great with everything else in the background. And on that note, go and hodl, go and scalp, use the hodl fire, and we'll catch you guys all on the next HODLNOTS Happy Hour Hangout session next month. Until then, ciao, ciao!
Cheers, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.